around. NBC's Kate Snow has his amazing story.
In this high school drumline in Louisiana, there's one player who never misses a beat. At just 6 years old, Jeremiah Travis is already a drumming sensation. Jeremiah's words are few, but his music speaks volumes.
I just like to beat.
His mother, Nicole Jackson, knew from early on drumming was his calling.
He probably was beating in the womb. He was very active in the womb, and he just always tapped on anything he can beat on. He just beat. See, like he doing now.
In 2017, St. Helena Parish High School's band director spotted the little drummer in the stands, beating on the bleachers with his toy drumsticks.
I was like, whoa, we got to get him in the band. Bring him over here right now. Bring him over here. And the kids, they held the drum out for Jeremiah, and he just started going. And my mouth just dropped.
And with that, Jeremiah was asked to join the team. Now in kindergarten, Jeremiah plays side by side with drummers nearly triple his size. Last fall, a video of Jeremiah went viral. Soon after, his band director got a surprise call from the president at Alcorn State University.
Mr. Fry, you have Jeremiah in your band, right? I said, yes, sir. He said, hey, we have to offer Jeremiah a scholarship now before all the other schools in the world come gravitating towards Jeremiah.
I was just amazed and shocked. We were very excited to receive it.
Last week, Jeremiah and his bandmates got a huge opportunity to march in a Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans. Jeremiah, just 6 years old, playing the streets of the Big Easy. Marching toward a bright future.
That's the best thing out of it for me, out of everything with Jeremiah, is him receiving a scholarship. Most people only have those dreams. He's already fulfilling it.
He don't give up. He's gonna stick with those big kids and learn what they learn. So that makes us very proud that he's so little and he won't give up.
Wow, such a bright future. That does it for KPRC Channel 2 News Midday. Thank you for joining us. Channel 2 News at noon starts now.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News at noon.
A man who tried to take back his stolen truck ended up dead, and his adult son was seriously hurt.
The father and son were going after a group of guys in a chase that cut right through a cemetery. Vincent Crivelli reports from East Houston, where the search for those truck thieves is still underway.
Good afternoon. That's right. Now let me show you some of the damage. Police say 3 suspects in a stolen truck came barreling through this historic cemetery, smashing through everything in their way and killing the owner of the truck. A cemetery left desecrated. Tire marks lead to broken tree limbs, headstones, and car parts.
The toughest part is just seeing it, just looking at what happened.
Last night, police say 3 suspects stole a truck. The owner of father chased them down, jumped on the side of the truck to try to stop them, but ended up getting ran over and dying from his injuries.
I'm speechless, really. I'm very speechless at what has happened.
Lisa Judkins is a volunteer caretaker of the cemetery, which was built in the 1800s.
In that area over there, we have Buffalo soldiers, we have Masons, we have slaves, ex-slaves, lies in the ruin of this cemetery.
She says 7 of the 200 graves were violated.
Our history lies in the ruins of these historical properties.
They say a page of history is worth a volume of logic, so Jenkins is assessing the damage and plans to fix it as soon as possible.
We're going to remove the debris and work very hard to get the fencing up as soon as possible.
And right now, authorities are working to track down those 3 suspects who stole a truck and killed the father. If you know anything, please contact Houston Police. Reporting in the 5th Ward, Vincent Crivelli, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Vince, thank you. New developments in a deadly crash where deputies say a man was driving while intoxicated and ended up killing a 23-year-old woman.
Yeah, we have just learned the bartender, they say, overserved, Zachary Castro, has been arrested. That information is coming from the Harris County District Attorney's Office. Castro is charged with intoxication assault with a vehicle and intoxication manslaughter.
We are waiting for the bartender, Miguel Rizzo, to make his way through the court system. Investigators say Castro admitted to taking 4 shots before getting behind the wheel. Deputies say he slammed into 3 Good Samaritans in northwest Harris County to help a disabled vehicle. Myra Espina was hit and declared brain dead. She was taken off life support on Saturday.
Developing this noon, NBC News is reporting that FEMA is now preparing for a possible emergency declaration when it comes to the deadly coronavirus.
The declaration would bring in more money and more manpower to assist the Trump administration in their response to the virus that has killed 2 people in Washington state and more than 3,000 others worldwide.
Meanwhile, we are awaiting the test results of a staff member at Rice University. That person may have been exposed to the coronavirus while traveling out of the country. 17 other individuals have been asked to self-isolate because they had direct contact with that person. Rice University is assuring students this noon that the staff member was not in any classrooms or residential buildings.
2 people in Washington state have died from the coronavirus, and the illness is impacting more aspects of daily life here in the U.S.
Even though the CDC says the risk of contracting the virus from the general public remains low. NBC's Tom Costello has a look at the impact both here and abroad.
With tens of thousands of coronavirus cases worldwide, including at least 80 here in the U.S., the federal government now trying to reassure the public it's prepared.
We will have more, and we will have more community cases. It's simply just a matter of math.
The CDC now says it will allow hundreds of labs across the country to test for the virus, to more quickly identify potential patients and track transmission.
We now have 75,000 tests available out there in the United States, and over the next week that will expand radically on top of the 75,000 tests available.
But fear and misinformation continue to spread. Across social media, many, including some celebrities, have posted photos wearing face masks. Health experts say that's sending the wrong message. The Surgeon General tweeting that people should stop buying them, explaining masks are not effective for general prevention and need to be reserved for healthcare providers and those already sick. To help with demand, 3M is now increasing production to 35 million masks per month. In corporate America, it's anything but business as usual after the stock market took a huge hit last week, the biggest decline since the 2008 recession. And with fears mounting, giant companies, including Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Amazon, are telling workers to avoid unnecessary trips. The auto industry is in trouble, too, scrambling to find parts and prevent shortages, facing delays from Chinese supply chains. And now experts predict car sales could fall by as much as 2.5% this year. Some conferences around the country also canceled. Worldwide, travel is taking a massive hit as well. Delta and American suspending flights between the U.S. and Milan, Italy until late April at the earliest. United halting some flights to Japan, Singapore, and South Korea. Meanwhile, retail is hurting, with international flights being held up and shipments delayed. Even some brides-to-be scrambling now to find wedding dresses before their big day. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
There are no confirmed cases of the virus in the Houston area, but more families have been stocking up on supplies just as a precaution. So this noon, HEB is announcing it is limiting how much hand sanitizer and soap that you can buy at a single time. There is a 4-bottle limit on both sanitizer and soap. HEB leaders say this is simply to ensure all customers have access to those products. HEB says there is no shortage of hand sanitizer and soap at this point. Shelves are being restocked daily.
It sounds simple, but the best advice from health experts to avoid getting sick is to just use your common sense. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If you know someone is sick, avoid them. It's not rude to protect yourself and stay healthy. This might seem obvious, but avoid touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth, especially after handling things in public. And possibly, most importantly, stay home if you're sick. Spreading an illness only puts other people at risk.
And this morning, thousands of drivers headed into downtown got a reminder to practice good hygiene. The iconic Be Somebody sign, or Be Someone sign rather, was changed to a pretty timely message. It says, wash your hands. We're not sure who changed this, but it appears to have been painted sometime over the weekend.
Taking a live look now at the Dow, analysts are hinting at another volatile week on Wall Street. Right now, the Dow has soared As you can see, more than 700 points as traders try to rebound from last week, which was the worst since the financial crisis of 2008. The sell-offs were brought on by fears that the coronavirus could slow down the global economy. We, of course, will keep you updated as the situation develops. It is a cloudy and somewhat warm start to the week.
A little muggalicious out there, if you ask me, on this Monday.
What did you say?
A little muggalicious.
Look, I've got a whole list of like Christine-isms back
I'm
there.
stealing that one from her. I love that.
But I've told her, she gave me carte blanche that I could use them. So.
Some are better than others.
That's true.
I'm sorry.
I'll pay for that one. Muggalicious is great. That is exactly what it feels like outside. It is. A lot of cloud cover as well. Not a whole lot of rain today. Didn't think that'd be the case. We'll keep it at like 20%. But that's not what we're really going to be watching over the next couple of days. It's this. You say, what is that? This is an area of low pressure. It's in the higher part of the atmosphere, but notice that as it digs south, it's going to take all the specific moisture and kind of drive it across the state of Texas. While that isn't translating to any kind of major shower chances now, when that low gets closer to it, think of it as sort of a big lifting mechanism. It will start to pop those and get a little more widespread in terms of our rain coverage. We'll get into all those details here in just a couple of minutes. Right now, though, temperatures here in Southwest, 75 degrees, fairly warm afternoon for us. Also, not only that, 76 in Conroe and Cleveland, 73 down on the island, and 72 as you get out towards Navasota. The winds are going to be the story as well. It'll be very breezy over the next couple of days. I'll show you the pollen count here in a second. We've seen a few changes in that. Good for some, probably not so for others, but still, that pollen is going to be blowing around over the next couple of days before all the system moves on through. So we'll keep just a slight mention for some showers in there. The majority of what we'll see is likely going to be another mild day tomorrow, and then Wednesday's when we bullseye that storm coming in. We'll talk about timing, how much rain we're talking, all the different scenarios, and of course, what we've got in the rest of the work week coming up.
Yeah, a lot to get to today, Justin. Thanks so much. Now to Decision 2020 and the race for the White House. Super Tuesday is tomorrow. That's when voters here in Texas and in more than a dozen other states will cast their ballots in the primary.
Former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg, dropped out of the presidential race yesterday, and political analysts say that could be an advantage for Joe Biden as he fights to stay afloat. Biden's campaign has little money and organization in major states like California and Texas. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, meanwhile, is showing strength in many states, including Texas. Right now, Sanders leads Biden by double digits in our state.
The former vice president is hoping to make last-minute inroads with voters here in Houston. He is hosting a community rally at 1 o'clock this afternoon at Texas Southern University. It is open to the public and located in the Science Building on Barbee Street.
Polls will be open from 7 until 7 tomorrow, and if you need help getting there, Metro will give you a free ride round trip. You can take the bus, light rail, or their paratransit service. All you have to do is tell the bus driver you're either going to or returning from the polls. If you run into any issues or you have any questions, the phone number for Metro's customer service team is right there on the screen. And there is more reasons to vote tomorrow than just the presidential primary. A number of local and state races also on the ballot. We've got a breakdown of what those are and why they're so important on our politics tab at clicktohouston.com.
Just into our newsroom, HISD has announced a makeup day after campuses were closed on Friday because of the water main break. School will now be in session on Monday, June the 1st, and that will be the last day of the school year. Originally, the last day of school was Friday, May 29th.
Harris County officials are taking aim at generic drug manufacturers. They're suing them over what they say is a massive price-fixing scheme.
Yeah, County Attorney Vince Ryan is among those who filed this lawsuit. Ryan names 43 companies in the suit. He claims they were part of a conspiracy to significantly reduce competition and increase prices of at least 181 generic drugs.
Every day is important for people who can't get the drugs they need for their own health care or their families, which is even more dramatic and sad.
Right now, the lawsuit is pending in federal court in Houston.
Only on 2 this noon, a man posing as a parking attendant arrested in downtown Houston.
The woman he tried to swindle is now speaking out about the man's sneaky act. Next on Channel 2 News at noon. It is a story you'll see only on 2. A man taken into custody in downtown Houston after a woman noticed something wasn't quite right with the amount of money that he charged her to park.
Channel 2's Sally Mamdou spoke with that woman about the red flags that led her to call police.
When Tony Gillespie heads to downtown to dine at her go-to restaurant, she typically parks here at this paid parking lot by La Branch in Dallas. But this Saturday, she says she couldn't pay for her parking at the machine.
And we were approached by an attendant who said, well, it's going to be a special event parking today because of all the events going on, rodeo, etc.
And that man told Tony she would have to pay him $20 to park.
He had on a vendor's tag. So I looked and said, well, let me see your tag because it's unusual. I come to this restaurant pretty frequently and the parking is usually just always $7.
Something just seemed off to Tony when she noticed the man's vendor tag was expired.
He's like, well, I know it's expired, but my partner has another one. Well, where's your partner? His partner is not around.
Tony paid the man $20, and in return, the man handed her what seems to be a valet ticket. But that ticket belongs to the Renaissance Hotel in Austin. Tony checked with the restaurant to see the reason for the price increase and found out there was no price increase and that she had been scammed. She then immediately flagged down an officer patrolling the area who found the man in the parking lot and arrested him for theft. This all happened while we are in the same parking lot. You see, the man now identified as Elliot Nix had tried to scam us an hour before. The man was scoping the parking lot looking for potential victims. That's when he spotted us sitting in the news truck. The man then tapped on the hood of the car to get our attention. Then he was wondering whether we paid for our parking or not. But once he noticed that we've paid for our parking and the ticket is right here, he backed off immediately and walked away looking for another potential victim. That's when he found Tony, who's glad she took action.
You just have to follow your instincts. If someone approaches you and say, hey, you need to pay me, and they have a ticket, just be cautious. Ask questions.
Sally Mabdou, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Yeah, so true. Always go with your gut in those situations.
Well, yeah, and it's okay to ask a little more questions than you think you might need to, just to be on the safe side. Never feel stupid asking, right?
True.
So
yeah, especially with all that we were just talking about. Sal was doing her story there. I've seen guys come up and try to like scam people over by BBVA Compass Stadium when the Dynamo's in town and whatnot. So
they're everywhere.
That's why I just Uber and Lyft. Make it really easy.
No, it does make it easier.
Problem solved.
Yes, but if you don't ask those questions,
that's
it's
right.
all
Ask
right.
those questions,
And good for her. Good for her.
Definitely. Okay, we got a lot going on weather-wise next couple of days, guys. We've got primary voting tomorrow as well. A lot of folks are going to be out for that. I don't think it's going to be an issue weather-wise because most of the rain that we get, any of that's going to be probably later in the day. Wednesday, there's going to be a little sloppy. It's the start of rodeo, right? We got to have nasty days before we start to clear things out. So let's talk about Wednesday as we first see what's happening outside. A-OK. It is warm out there. Look at the surf as you head to Galveston. It's 73 degrees, and the water is really rocking down there as well. You get a pretty strong southeast wind right off the Gulf there, and that'll get the waves battering at the piers. So it is fairly breezy as well. Southeast wind at around 17 miles an hour, and obviously you can see the dew points are on the higher side. That's one of the spots actually dealing with clear skies. Inland, we've got a lot of cloud cover pretty much from right up near College Station as you go down into the Conroe area, Montgomery County, all the way down here into Harris County, the greater metro. Houston area too, and for the most part, we're going to see our wind speeds anywhere from around 10-15 miles an hour. So that said, the rest of the day today, we'll see mostly cloudy skies. We'll keep just a mention of a shower or two in there. Majority of that is likely going to be very light, and I think most of it's on the north side too. We've seen just a couple of quick sprinkles working their way right around Lake Livingston. But here's our culprit for Wednesday. This is an area of low pressure. As I mentioned earlier, it's in the higher part of the atmosphere. And you say, well, wow, okay, well, how does that apply to us? This, think of it as kind of like driving a buggy or sort of pushing a lawnmower. So as this low moves closer to it, it takes all this moisture that you get near the surface and allows it to lift. And that's where you get your heavier showers and thunderstorms. And the specific moisture sometimes when we tap into it can have can mean, I should say, a chance for some heavy rain. So that's kind of what we're going to be watching over the next couple of days. So as I mentioned for Tuesday, most of the day should be fine. If you're going to get out and do your voting, I don't think it'll be much of an issue. It's more of when this low kind of moves along this little boundary that's going to sit tight. Notice that things get a little messy as we get in towards Wednesday, and that's because not only it's tapping into some of that Gulf moisture, but it's got the Pacific stuff there as well. Put both those together, and that's a recipe that we could get some pockets of heavy rain throughout the day on Wednesday. By Thursday, that moves off. So how much rain does that translate to? Well, for the most part, it's going to depend on where that low exactly tracks. If it tracks a little further north, heavier rain's going to stay to the north of us, 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches, 1 to 2 for us. But if it pushes a little further south, meaning that it tracks down in towards southwest Texas, that's when we'll see this higher rain chance kind of push a little further south, and that'll put us under a bullseye of some pretty messy conditions. So a little too early to kind of pinpoint exactly where that's going to go just yet, but fairly confident that if you head it on out, definitely make sure you got the boots and the umbrellas because you'll need them. for Wednesday for sure, but we should be A-okay by the time we get to Thursday and Friday. And I know a lot of folks, guys, they're going to wait until we get to the weekend and take the kiddos out to the carnival and that. Weather's going to be perfect. We'll be back up into the low 70s and decent looking forecast.
Excellent. Justin, thanks so much.
Betcha.
Houston Life is coming up at the top of the hour.
Always look forward to seeing what they're cooking, especially on a Monday following a weekend. Derek and Courtney standing by with a preview of today's show. Hi, guys.
Hey, Christine and Andy. Yeah, March. Can you believe it? Wow.
It's here already.
It's here already. But folks, March is also Women's History Month, and today we're profiling a woman who really is incredible. Frances, also known as Sissy Farenthold. She has broken barriers for women in politics and beyond. The first state representative in Texas. She is still an advocate for women and minorities, and of course she lives right here in Houston. Plus, Courtney, did you know we are kicking off a week of drive-through meals? We're going to ride along with nutritionist Crystal Hammett to see if we really can make healthier choices. When we're in a pinch, we got to go through the drive-through. Our first stop today, Whataburger.
Oh, I love it. And by the way, if you have a little bit more time, we can do these meals at home. Registered dietitian Mary Ellen Phipps, she's in our kitchen, going to tell us how to make a bunless burger, also some French fries at home. So these are great weeknight menus and different things that we can add to our menus that are going to taste just as good, healthy, but gives us sort of that fast food flavor.
So it's like going through the drive-thru, but you make it at home.
Yes.
And it's healthier, but still tastes good.
Absolutely.
Oh, all right, well, sign me up. I'm actually hungry. Lunchtime, guys. Have you eaten yet?
No, but I can't wait to learn the tricks of the trade there.
I know, homemade French fries.
Oh,
yes,
so
please.
good.
All right, guys, we'll see you at 1 o'clock on Houston Life. Looking forward to it.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond is cutting about 500 jobs of its corporate workforce. The company's CEO says it expects to reduce expenses by roughly $85 million annually. This comes as the struggling home goods store tries to restructure its business. They plan to spend up to $400 million on store remodels and supply chain upgrades.
AT&T is giving you more options. Today, it's rolling out a new national TV service. It lets customers connect Google Android-powered boxes directly to their broadband internet. This eliminates the need for UVerse fiber hookups or satellite TV dishes. The new service includes access to all streaming apps that are available in Google's App Store and free access to HBO Max, which launches in May. It is more expensive than its competitors. $50 a month with a 2-year commitment, or $40 a month if you bundle it with AT&T Internet. You are looking live at the Southwest Freeway. Justin's up next, tracking some wet changes to our forecast.
Clog repairs.
Well, it's warm out there, but it's definitely muggy and cloudy.
It is what?
Muggalicious.
Muggalicious?
I had to hear it one more time. It's so good. Anyway, you know, rodeo started, and this kind of becomes a joke if you live here in Houston long enough. You go, okay, what days it going to be?
Right.
What days are going to be? You remember last year, your first rodeo, it was freezing out there.
First day of rodeo, yeah, and it was cold and rainy.
It was cold and rainy. Well, there you go. That'll be Wednesday. It'll be warm and rainy, but it's going to be out there. So just keep a watch on that, and certainly make sure that you check the forecast. New model runs will come in. Of course, Frank will have those tonight, and we'll kind of time things out for Wednesday. Otherwise, the rest of the week looks great.
Yeah, and spring forward next weekend.
Houstonians are like, we can deal with this rain. It's Houston rodeo season, y'all. Nothing's going to stop us.
That's right.